Good afternoon, everyone, and we're very happy that you are here today. This part of the parent and community members of the SAC, the School Advisory Council. And I just want to thank you all for everything you do for our school. I want to thank you for your participation. I want to thank the business leaders that are here today as well, that have supported our schools in many different ways. The parents that are here as well, that have supported us with different things that we do here in school, our activities, etc. And I just want you to, I just want you to make sure that you are here, and we just want you to continue to work hard. Now, I just want to let you know that, of course, we are awaiting the results for the FSA. We already have the third grade results. And of course, we saw some gains in there, gains in the sense that there were some students that were retained in third grade last year, and then those students, even though that officially we don't see gains in third grade because there's nothing to compare with them with, however, those that were retained, we did see that there were gains. So they brought some gains, so that's actually good. It's going to help our schools also to excel. One of the things that we are going to work hard in the next school year, 2017 and 2018, and we want to inform, as we spoke in the SAC, as we spoke in the School Advisory Council. However, we also want to make you, parents and community leaders, we want to make you a participant, and we want you to know, because we all want to be in the same page, just attacking that alignment process that is so important for our schools. And one of the things that we want to make sure is that if we want to have, and we want to achieve a continuation or a continual school success, we have to understand that literacy is going to be a main component that is going to assist us and support us to get that coveted goal of continue to become an A school. So if you have any questions, you can ask those questions as I'm going to lead you real quick. What is literacy? Literacy, of course, is the ability to use language to communicate and to interpret the knowledge and ideas of others, as well as our own. Literacy involves the integration of reading and writing along with speaking, listening, viewing, and critical thinking in a variety of contexts and for a variety of purposes. Therefore, what we want to do is that we want to make sure that literacy is stressed, not just in ELA, in English language learning classes, but we can stress it also for math, writing, of course, science, history or social studies, and in every aspect, even in our PE curriculum, and music and art, we can incorporate literacy. And the music teacher is doing that with our students as well. One of the things that she's doing is that she's showing them the great composers, and the kids are actually reading about them, and she's also incorporating Florida standards into those particular lessons. So that's a good thing. And that's one way that we are attacking literacy, not just in the core subjects, but also in the additional ones as well. Yes.
I know for my daughter, math has been a challenging subject area. How can I help her with literacy, but at the same time integrating math?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good question. And one of the things that, for example, if one were to look at the FSA math, we're going to notice that there's a problem-solving component. The problem-solving component. And believe it or not, with the problem-solving component, it involves literacy. Because if our kids are not able to read, if they're not able to understand what they're reading, if they're not able to integrate the knowledge of understanding and the writing and so forth, they're not going to be able to solve that problem. So the question is a very good question. And this could be the answer. In our school, for example, one of the things that we do, and you're going to, as parents and community leaders as well, you're going to see that we send home the summer packet, and along with the summer packet, there are some great, huge websites that are going to help. But not only that, iReady, which you know what iReady is because we've stressed so much this school year, and your kids when you get home, iReady, which is an online tutorial program that our school purchased, but now also Orange County Public Schools as a county, as the district purchased for elementary schools, guess what? iReady is going to be up and running all the way until, I think it's the last week of July. What does that mean? Those of you parents that are concerned with your students, so how could I help them out? iReady attacks both reading and it attacks both math. So you're going to be able to put them there in iReady, and our kids can also continue to practice those particular areas, especially on literacy, not just for reading, but also for
And
math.
that's only until the 27th, you said?
I think it's the third week of July. I'll let you know. A letter is going home
Oh, great.
before the last day of school, which is this coming Wednesday. There's a letter that's going home, and the parents will be informed of those particular dates. Besides the fact that every teacher is also sending letters home and emailing the parents. As you all know, here at Bumblebee Elementary, it is a policy. It is a policy that our teachers communicate with our parents via email. So it's very important for us to do that. Now, I want us to real quick look at the structure of ELA. And the structure is, this is something that has been going on in our classroom. Number one, our classrooms, there are 2 adults in each classroom. You might say 2 adults, but how do we get them? That's the good thing of being a Title I school. We have additional funds where we can allocate those funds, etc., in order for our students to be impacted with the Title I funds. And of course, we have paraprofessionals, and we have even some personnel that come in a half-day basis. But we identify especially those classes which we have tiered. Tiered means that we have identified those classes that have a lot of necessity, and we have placed paraprofessionals in there that can assist the teacher. And the purpose of that is, of course, we're doing literacy, and we're working a lot with small groups as well, okay? And of course, we have a 30-minute whole group section, and then we have breakout into centers. Classroom teacher does the guided reading. Okay, so what he does or she, what they do is that they take the students to the table. They do a guided reading session. Many of you, your kids, you can see that as well. And we've done the FSA night, and we showed you how that works as well. And of course, there are the bottom 30% and lower bubble students. Any questions so far? No question? Okay, you might ask, what's a bubble student?
Yes,
Because that's a term. Maybe you were bubble. Bubble students are those students that are right in the middle, not in the middle, but they are, let's say they're between a level 2 and a level 3. They're very close to be a level 3, but they're not there yet. Or they were a level 3, but they were a low level 3. So they could fall back into a level 2. So we call those bubble students. And those particular students, what we do is that we target them. And one of the things that we started, that's why we use the iReady program, not just we use it as core curriculum, but we also use it as an intervention piece, because those kids, we intervene with them. We classify those kids tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So then those kids that are bubble students, we intervene them, and then after we do that, we try to get them stronger, try to get those 3 into level 4s, those level 2 to just jump to level 3. We talked about the resource teachers and the centers as well. Okay? Yes?
You have a center for children whose ESOL, English is their second language, and so their English reading may not be quite up to standards yet.
Our school, as you saw in the presentation when we were in our SAC meeting, remember, our school is 90%, it's a little bit over, it's about 91 point something percent, but it's over 90% English language learners. Therefore, all of the teachers of our school, they are ESOL endorsed. They have to have the 360 hours, ESOL hours. So everything that is done there is their ESOL strategies are used.
Okay.
The iReady lessons are prepared and are tailored to help those students as well. Now, if those students fall within the bubble, or if those students are students that have been tier 3, of course they get their individual intervention. However, per the meta consent decree, we can't just take students and single them out, because they also need to be part of the overall, because they need to be, it's law, it's federal law, so they need to be impacted also with the rest of the population. And that, of course, is a decree, and that's why our students, so the ELL students, the English Language Learner students, are impacted with the general curriculum. However, as they are needed, they are also impacted with the rest of it. Yes?
So with that said, when you do pull them out to the guided reading centers or the guided reading with the teacher, those are the kids that are pulled out by ability levels, including those ELL kids.
Definitely.
Ability level, but at the same time, those are at that ability level. But when they do go out to their centers, are those mixed ability levels so they can help each other? Are those instructional supports embedded as they go out to the centers?
Yes, they are embedded. For example, if you see here that centers, you're going to see the guided reading centers. Basically, the kids that are tier 2 and 3, the tier 3 kids, the teacher sees them every day. Tier 2 kids, the teachers see them 3 times a week. The tier 1 kids, especially kids that are what we call enrichment, students that are above grade level, so they receive an additional enrichment activity, those kids could see the teacher once a week. When I say see the teacher, they're impact directly with the teacher with the guided reading. Now, we're going to see that these are the centers that you're going to see in the classroom. This is the guided reading that we just talked about. This is the standard-based center. The standard-based center is a center that deals with the standards, the Florida state standards. Okay, so it targets those particular standards as well. So these are, every kid, again, they have to go through it, through the rotation. We have the writing center, where we teach them the race strategy. Race strategy, your kids might go home and tell them about the race strategy, which is when they answer a question, they're going to restate the question, they're going to answer the question. That's what race, it's an acronym. Race, R, restate the question, A, answer the question, C, cite evidence, and E, elaborate. Okay? So this is what we expect here with writing. And we also teach them, especially in grades 4th and 5th, where this year we went lower, we even went to 3rd grade, but next year we're going to target that even better. But with 4th and 5th, before that, they were doing, they were writing essays, etc. We have the comprehension. These are basically scaffold questions and comprehension-based questions that they can find in their literature, or literacy, I should say. And the computer, in the computer center, this is the iReady, where we target reading and math. And it's a daily thing. However, the parents and the students, they all have their username and password, and from home, they are able to go in and log in, as some of you parents might see. Yes?
Yes. So I assume also that this will include students with exceptionalities. Will they work hand in hand with?
When you say students with exceptionality, are ESE students?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Remember, again, because of this, the No Child Left Behind, every student, we cannot single out a student and say, well, you can't work good, you're going to work over here, and then we'll target this. Every student has to be impacted the same, because that's law. So yes, ESE students will come, they will benefit from the general classroom, but of course, there's the IEP. We have to follow that IEP. Every teacher follows that IEP, and according to that IEP, that's when the IEP, the individualized educational plan, based on the IEP, those are the strategies and the accommodations, okay, that will be afforded to them and to teach them. So that's a good question. Any other question? Everything's good? Any other questions? I want to thank you all for being here. If you have any other questions, let us know. Again, we had our SAC meeting last week, but we also wanted to meet with the parent and community component of the SAC, because we want to make sure, not just the teachers or not just the leadership team or the administrative team, we want everyone in the SAC, we want to be on the same page, because if we want to continue to be an A school, we have to be proactive. And of course, you being here is a show that we will continue to hold that coveted A. Yes?
I know for high schools they get recommended readings. Are you guys going to do that for the elementary school? But not just recommended 10 pages a day, but even specific books that might help them in the next
Every summer, with the packet that I spoke about in the beginning, there's the recommended reading.
Okay.
So there's a recommended reading book, and some teachers that I know for a fact, what is the teacher that teachers and parents go in and they get these free books, the website?
And Barnes and Noble.
But
Gift for
the county.
teaching.
Gift for Teaching is one of them, but there's, right now, from off of my head, I forgot, but every teacher, every month, the teacher goes,
Book Trust.
Book Trust, there you go, Book
Scholastic.
Trust.
Mhm.
It's from
Scholastic.
Scholastic.
Yeah.
Scholastic, there's Book Trust, and every month, our teachers, they get those books. So I know for a fact that there are teachers right now that are making up their list, because they're actually lending those books to some of the students. So some of our teachers are doing that. However, that's not enough, of course. So the recommended books are going to be there. And again, parents that are worried about, 2 months, they tend to forget this or that. We got an online tutorial. Free, the school is paying for it, okay? And it has been like this for the past 3 years. At least Orange County Public School purchased it this last school year, but our school, we had it already 2 years before that. We were proactive, that's why we're an A. Good? Okay, thank you so much, thank you.
Very
Okay,
informative.
bye.
Thank you.